Thanks to the Spyserver network, we can now access remotely controlled software-defined radios around the globe without having the need for a physical radio ourselves. Join us today where I not only show you how to access all of these remotely accessible software-defined radios, but also teach you how to host your own Spyserver so that you can get yours up and running and available for remote access as well. If you're interested in software-defined radio and radio communication in general, please be sure to smack that subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future content. Before we set up a Spyserver, I just wanted to make sure we all knew how easy it was to access the Spyserver network. Simply select Spyserver Network from the drop-down as if it was an SDR, then click on the three dots here to open up the Spyserver Network window. From here, we can select ready or unavailable or, etc. SDRs that are available on this list. In this case, we can hop almost anywhere in the world. We're going to pick up a software-defined radio that's currently sitting in Italy. We simply click on the link here and it will bring it up in SDR Sharp. We can listen to live, real-time RF in that area.
In fondo alla via c'è un giardino, ci sono 4-5 persone.
And we can do this quickly and easily, bouncing all over the globe by just disconnecting and then reconnecting to a different software-defined radio in another location. With that quick introduction out of the way, let's go ahead and make sure we have the latest copy of SDR Sharp so that we can set up our Spyserver software. This will contain all of the latest software that we need, including the Spyserver executable. Go ahead and extract the zip folder to a folder somewhere on the computer, and then get that folder opened up so that we can go ahead and install the RTL libraries that you'll need in case you are using an RTL SDR with the Spyserver software. It should be a BAT file called install-rtlsdr.bat. Go ahead and run that program, and that's just going to download the library files that we need and unzip them to the working directory. From here, we must now look for the spyserver.config file. We're going to go ahead and open that up in any type of text editor that you prefer. In this case, we're just going to go ahead and use Notepad since it's right here. This is a very simple to read and modify configuration file. You'll see the first thing we have in here is our bind host that's currently bound to 0.0.0.0. For our purposes, we can leave that as it is. We also have our bind port. Now this is currently set to a range, but because I will be port forwarding through my network, I have dedicated mine to port 8085. From here, we get the option to list the server in the AirSpy directory, essentially making it publicly accessible and advertised for other people to use, the same way that we used the client earlier to kind of hop around SDRs all over the world. If you don't want this, simply change the 1 to a 0. You then have the owner name. In this case, we're going to name it Signals Everywhere Tutorial Test, but in your case, put your name, your call sign, information about the owner, of course. Same goes for the email. And then from there, we have our antenna type. So this can provide some information about the type of antenna to the end user before they select that software-defined radio for use. You also have things like your antenna location. You can place coordinates there. Typically, I don't place anything there, and it will use your IP address to geolocate. It seems to work good enough, and it's easier than getting your coordinates. You can also place a general description, place limits on things like maximum clients, how long can those sessions last with a particular user, are they allowed to control things like changing the gain of your SDR or retune to a different frequency, or do you want to lock those values in? We simply make a couple basic changes here, and once we're done, we save and close this file. Once that's completed, we really just need to run the Spyserver software. Now, if you happen to be sitting behind a firewall or a NAT, you are going to have to do some port forwarding. I'll leave a link in the description below that teaches you exactly what you need to do in order to handle port forwarding, because it's very different depending on your network setup. But I swear it is quite simple to do once you get the hang of it. With the Spyserver up and running, we should now be able to look at the Spyserver network and find our software-defined radio. In the search bar, I'll look up Signals Everywhere, and we can see my RTL SDR running on a Spyserver, along with all the description information and other key details that we included in our configuration file. The Spyserver software is amazing in the ability to allow you to share your software-defined radio both with those local and abroad. The application not only runs on Windows, but also Linux servers as well. So a software-defined radio could be paired together with something like a Raspberry Pi to allow you to create a remote connection to your SDR across your local area network or even across the internet itself when port forwarding is taken into consideration. Big shout out to all my patrons and subscribers for whom without I would not be able to bring you this content. It's been amazing to create stuff and be a part of the channel along with all of my viewers. And I do apologize this being a shorter video as well as the lack of content of late. Obviously things have been crazy in the world and frankly crazy in my life in general. So we're looking to get things back on track and I can't wait to see you guys all in the next one.